What a show we have for you guys today.
Extra long show, baby.
Ooh, what a show. We're gonna save the second part of the show and surprise you guys and let you know what we have going on there. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. You know, I like it and I like where it's gonna go. What do you got, Stan?
It's gonna be a long show, so let's just get right into it. You know, we don't want to make these guys. They're gonna complain about it tomorrow. Oh, it's over an hour. What the hell's wrong with you guys? So.
And you know what? Tomorrow's gonna be the day where Nemo's gonna listen to the podcast and he goes, oh, the one day where I need you guys to go over 2 hours because I'm in fucking China. You guys go 40 minutes. So this is for you, Nemo. We're gonna go blitz, even though
second seed Nemo.
Yeah. Just to clarify, we do have a Shabbat rule if people are overseas, right?
We should. Nemo has to follow our time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Dag, just confirm that in the chat. Because Nemo's overseas, and I'm sure Mocas has been overseas in the past also. So.
Yeah, Mocas was never relevant.
That's true.
Ever.
Neither was Nemo.
No, so Nemo now is relevant. He's 5-2. He's second place. Mocas is always like 0-6 by now,
yeah,
so it doesn't matter. He goes away. Pickups are like an afterthought. Whatever.
That's a good point.
Second seed Nemo, baby. He's back. Nemo. Is Nemo in China right now?
Nemo's in China right now, yeah.
He's going to be jet lagged for Mazza League? I love my chances now. This is going to be great.
You think...
Maybe his arm is going to be like extra crazy.
You think Nemo for a second is going to be jet lagged? The guy sleeps at any fucking hour of the day. You think he's going to be jet lagged?
He's going to be jet lagged.
No, he's not.
He's going to be jet lagged.
No, he's not. He literally,
Sleepy.
like, you text Nemo in the middle of the day, you're like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, nothing, I just took a nap. I was like, oh, I did a 20-minute power nap. He goes, 4 hours, but whatever, it's cool.
4-hour power nap.
And then he'll be texting you
this whole time he was prepping for a China trip.
For 3 years.
This whole time.
It's been a 3-year prep for China.
Change his life. Go to China this whole time. Doesn't want to be jet lagged in China. That's it.
Wow, we're jumping right into the matchup of the week. And since Stan had my matchup of the week also, I'm going to let him take it away and tell me why his matchup of the week is the matchup of the week.
My matchup of the week. Once the music, it never stops. It's the greatest drop. Okay, here we go. My matchup of the week was by far the shittiest matchup.
And mind you, that Mocas scored more points than both these guys combined.
Is that true? Oh my god. So did I.
So did you. I was thinking about you, but I couldn't do the math in my head. So go, continue.
Anyways, my matchup of the week, the shittiest matchup, Ez versus Alsad, came down to Monday Night Football with Ez prevailing for his first win of the season over Alsad, whose team is just dying, flailing, now lost 3 in a row. But the reason I had it is just because it was such a crap fest. It was like Bills-Colts last year in a blizzard, right? That game got like national attention, even though it was 2 shitty teams playing a low-scoring game in a blizzard.
Yep.
This is what this was right here. This was a blizzard. And McCoy was in both games. And I just want to point out that there were 4 guys in this matchup that had less than 1 point. So that's just it's shit, disgusting shit. But because Ez won on Monday Night Football, holding the lead against Sanu, he gets matchup of the week. Congratulations to Ez. 1-6. Really, you can only go up from here.
Ez also had a great night last night. Also, not only for his win, but we started a tennis league sort of, and last night was the kickoff to our second tournament, and Ez advanced, beating David Zami.
David Zami's probably a shit tennis player.
They made it to the 3rd set, and he retired because he had heartburn from eating too many kibbehs.
That makes so much sense. Oh my god, Ez, way to go, baby!
So Ez had a good night last night.
Outlast him.
My matchup of the week. Before I go into the you know what? We'll hit on Alsav's team later. I have a lot to say about that.
This is disgusting.
My matchup.
This lineup is just,
my matchup of the week. Even though it was a blowout, my matchup of the week was mine and Alsav's matchup.
No, you didn't play Alsav.
I'm sorry. Mine and Sharari's matchup. He beat me by 24 points, but it was closer, sort of, than the numbers show. So now there was a lot of the implications here was Sharari's climb towards the top of the rankings because he has one of the better teams in the league, I think.
I think so too.
So it would be either Sharari would go 3-4 or 4-3, and for me, if I won, I'd be in first place. Obviously, not including Mo Caster because
he won already.
Yeah, he won already.
You're
so
number 1 seed.
I'd be the number 1 seed. You know, that's what it would have been. So it came down to the fact that I had a nothing from my quarterback Bortles, and he had great night from Beckham and Matt Ryan. Now, Beckham has, this season so far, I did the numbers, he scored 18 points or more every time he bitched the week prior.
So it's a strategy now.
Yeah.
So now me and my lock of the week, basically.
Right. So now if we hear that Odell Beckham is whining like a little pussy that he is during this week,
odds are high.
Odds are high that Shirai's going to have a nice big week. So
right.
So that's something that I looked into, and it is factual. So
Shirai's got to like pump the New York media with like negative shit about Odell. Like call Francesa all day.
Send pictures
Odell's
of him on a boat.
Bitch, and then make Odell respond and I love it.
Send pictures,
get on that.
Just send pictures of the guy on a boat, and then just or put like an air conditioner in front of him.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
something. Just that little bitch, you know. We're gonna go into the bust of the week again.
Okay, I'll start. Bust of the week. My first bust of the week. What did you have, just to make sure we're not on the same page here? Okay, my first bust of the week was Stephon Diggs, Charles' team. The Vikings scored 37 points. Diggs had 14 targets. He had like 40 yards and 6 fantasy points. That's not going to cut it. Even though Charles is very loaded at wide receiver, he obviously could not afford games like this, and he lost by 21 points to Moshal. He needs better showings from his guys. Second bust was just Ez and Alsav's like under 1 point guys. Like, just start better guys. Come on. Like, I'm not gonna go into the names. Just start better players. Alsav actually asked me before he picked up Charles Clay, should I pick up Charles Clay? I told him the Bills are not a functioning NFL offense. Do not pick up Charles Clay. He picked up Charles Clay, 0.9 points. You can't trust the Bills' offense. I'm sorry.
I think Charles Clay is like the official bye-week tight end to like everybody.
He has to be. There's no one else available, and he's supposed to be good, but he's not. He has the name Charles Clay. Like
that was a bust of the week. Sorry,
on my chair.
Just ripped one.
Yeah, and the last bust of the week, fake bust of the week, is Dag with Sony Michel. Michel got injured in the middle of the game, 2 points. I'm going to point it out, but whatever. And by the way, I also wanted to point out that when he started McCoy and his 0.1 points, McCoy died second play of the game. If you recall, on Friday, I sent a voice note when Marshawn Lynch got injured and Carlos Hyde got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars, knocking out 2 running backs right there. I said, bad things happen in threes, and McCoy is next, and he died at second play of the game.
Oh, that's documented.
Bad things happen in threes.
That's documented.
So, I'm sorry I had to point that out, but, yeah, better luck next week. I think he's going to play this week, so I think you're fine there, but hopefully he puts up 25 points.
My bust of the week goes to I had 2 guys. I had the Phillies RBs, Clement and Smallwood, who both suck. But I think it's expected. I don't think anybody's really expecting huge numbers from either of those guys at this point. I think they're going to split the timeshare. I think it's not something where you're expecting huge numbers from either guy. So my real bust of the week is the entire Alsav offense except for his quarterbacks. Now, this is what Alsav's team looked like as he lost to Ezra. 3 points from Sanu, 4 points from Tyler Gabriel, 3.8 from Gore, 4.7 from Naeem Hines, 0.9 from Charles Clay, 0.8 from Kiki Cutie, 7 from Suck Up, and 2 from Philly. Not including his quarterbacks, his kicker was the second highest point getter in his team on his team.
Amazing.
That's how bad Alsev's team was. And there was nothing he could have done about it because Melvin Gordon was out last minute. Now, this is going to be mentioned in my bust of the week. I'll have another one just in case, but I don't like... I mean, I think Alsav was just trying to be a little fancy here by putting Will Fuller on his bench over, guys like... Kiki Cutie.
He's trying to be cute, you saying?
Yeah.
He's trying to be cute with
Tyler Gabriel.
Gabriel's been playing well, though.
He's been playing well. Okay, fine. So you can't take Will Fuller out, especially since we saw that he is a legit guy. He could get touchdowns. He can get the yards. And you know what? If he puts Will Fuller into the game instead of Kiki Cutie, then he wins the matchup against Ez, and he's not an embarrassment to the league. And I think I saw Kiki Cutie was already ruled out for next week.
Really, Al, we'd love to know the logic where you started the third receiver on the Texans and not the second receiver.
I sent this...
cost you the matchup. We'd love to know what you were thinking there. Because that's
I sent this
weird decision.
This stat I sent to Stan. If Ez played Alsav every single week, Ez would be 3-4 and in 7th place.
Wow. Ez.
So...
All right.
He's not as bad.
I mean, Alsav's team just sucks.
Alsav's team does suck. Look
How'd
at
he
it.
beat me?
It's such a shitty team.
How'd he beat me? I was up 89-2. And the guy beat me. What the hell is that?
And breaking, Alsav traded,
he traded
Dak Prescott for C.J. Beathard.
It's a fine trade.
It's a fine trade. It's a very useless trade.
No, he needs a guy for next week because Dak and Rivers are both on bye.
Oh, true. Okay,
so
that's
he
a
needed
good
a quarterback.
That's a good point. I didn't see that.
And Dak gets a minimal upgrade with Dak, and he has the connection with Cooper now. Dak is loving life. Cowboys. Dak's gonna have some fun now with his 2-6 team, whatever he is. Let him play a little bit. Have some fun.
Okay, I didn't see that part.
It's our snooze of the week.
Snooze of the week.
You want to take it away?
I'll take it away. My snooze of the week. Is it fair at this point to put Mocas, anybody that plays...
That's what I had too. Mocas and Duke.
Is it fair to put anybody that played Mocas as the snooze of the week? You might have a different reason to put Mocas as the snooze of the week. My reason is because whenever you get 32 points from your defense on a Thursday night, hang up the cleats, Duke. It wasn't your week.
This was over.
It was over.
The second play of the game?
Yeah,
second play of the game. Pick six.
Pick six.
It was over.
And then 10 minutes later was another pick six. So you hung up your cleats and you said, all right, let's wait till next week. Maybe I have a better chance at winning. And that's exactly what happened. And Mocas, just to note, put up 189 points to be point scorer.
Points leader.
Points leader. What did I say?
Point scorer.
Points leader. With Connor on bye. So
whatever. I mean, whatever. Okay, I had enough of Mocas. Okay, just bring W's to Mazza Bowl. That's all I want you to do at this point. I had you, guy.
All right.
That's my snooze of the week as well. Duke and Mocas. Duke never had a chance. Duke was actively tanking during the week, saying, just give me all your bye week, guys. I don't want to make any waiver claim. I'm not winning this week anyways. Put up a good week anyways. 136 or whatever he had. But obviously not good enough to match Mo Shaw's juggernaut team. Just wait till Julio starts scoring touchdowns. Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit. Maybe he'll never score. I don't know.
He's on pace to not score, so.
So weird.
He put up 189. Listen, you can't fight that.
Speaking of Mocas, Dag just put in the chat that Mocas updated the Mazza League website today, the entire stats and draft boards from the last 2 years. So thank you, Mocas, for that.
Thank you. Wow.
That's a job well done. I'm looking forward to checking it out after this podcast.
God bless you, guy.
Fucking, that's awesome stuff, Mo. Really way to go.
And all these are going to be ready for, the website we'd like to get for Ready for Media Week, which is going to be coming up later this week and into next week.
Great.
Another stat I sent Stan about Mocas. Mocas had 3 players score more points than the entire leading scorer of Duke's team. Duke's leading scorer was Cam Newton, from what I'm seeing. Mocas had Pat Mahomes, had James White, and Denver defense score more, and Thielen scored 23.5. So really, 4 players matched or beat Duke's highest scorer. So
it's absolutely insane
what
Mocas is doing right now.
All 3 of Duke's losses this season have been blowout losses.
I want you to guess right now. What is Mocas's average weekly point total?
166.
Very close. 168.
Wow.
That's freaking insane.
That is wild. Ez hasn't reached 168 in 7 games so far. Combined. So
it's insane.
Also, you can't knock Duke on this game. He had a decent matchup. I have over here, and I think it's right. I don't know if it's you know what, it's right, but also because Ridley, a lot of guys were projected for low numbers. Despite 7 out of 11 starters on Duke's team scored above their point projection. So that is that, and we will go to. Did we do that already? We did that.
League, we did. Let's go to.
Where's
We can do start bench of the week. Let's just stay on the Mocas train right now because Mocas doesn't need to start the right players, but I like to point out that he can never start the correct quarterbacks. He started Mahomes and Goff this week with Wentz on his bench. Wentz outscored Goff. So Wentz is one of my benches of the week. And now, just for the record, when Mocas has had the choice between the 3 quarterbacks, because Wentz was out the first 2 weeks, Mocas is now 0 for 5 in picking the right quarterbacks. 0 for 5. So imagine when he picks the right quarterbacks. He's 7-0, and Julio's not scoring, and he can't make the right decisions. This team cannot be stopped. He's got to hit one of these days, and it's going to be, I don't know, maybe in the playoffs, maybe, where he just have a crazy week. This is bad news for all of us, guys, because everything that could possibly go wrong for Mocas
is going
wrong, and he's still winning everything. Not really going wrong, to be whatever. You know what I'm saying, guys. Second bench of the week, even though we didn't need him, Marlon Mack on Nemo's team had a big
33 points.
game against the Bills.
33.9 points.
Bills defense did not show up this game. Or they showed up, but they just took off after the second quarter. There's no, we're not playing anymore. He didn't need it because he played Dag, and Dag put up 109 only. But it's a great sign for Nemo's team to have a running back that seems to be getting a job and coming into form. And that's going to help Nemo big time. And, I mean, that's Nemo. Great stuff, man. Way to go.
My bench of the week, we touched on it before, Will Fuller. Alsaf wins if he puts in a real WR2 over Kiki QT, but again, like we said, I think a couple of weeks ago, this is the classic case of we signed him to a big contract, we got to start him. So Alsaf signed him for $18. I got to start QT. He's in my lineup. Also, another one.
Kazmatsui style. That's what it is.
Another one.
Mets.
Yeah.
Mets syndrome.
Yeah, 2 minutes, 1 second. Also, I mean, you didn't like what you saw out of him in the previous weeks, but he still put up an average of 8 to 12 points over the guy that was actually in the lineup who put up double digits for the first time last week. Now, Peyton Barber was in Dag's lineup. Has scored 3 points or less in 4 out of the 6 games that were played. One game had a 6.9, and last week had an 18.6. Dag decided, let's start Peyton Barber over Lamar Miller. Not that it would have made a difference. It would have made the matchup a lot closer, though. But he still would have lost. But why are you losing faith in Lamar Miller? He's not.
He hates Lamar Miller. Confirmed.
He hates him. He's not flashy. He's not going to give you the 26, 27 points that other top running backs could end up. But he's giving you 8 to 12 points, and I'll take that. You know, there's not much upside in Peyton Barber either. So that's that. We're gonna have to pause for a second. Not really pause, but we're going to take a call right now from, and we'll find out in a second.
Hello.
We got Sam Sutton.
Sam I am.
Now, if you guys were not aware of the Twitter, we got Sam Sutton. Mazza League has signed Sam I Am Productions to to a 1 day contract. Is it a 1 day contract? I guess.
It's like a 5-hour contract.
It's not actually a 1 day contract. It's actually it's a 1 day contract with an option for the next year. Both has to be mutually done by myself and my agent.
Mutually done between you and your agent.
Exactly. So, the bottom line is I'm very excited to get an opportunity to do this. I know how much time and effort you guys put into it, and why not document it the right way and have a production done, professionally? And I'm glad to do it, and I'm looking forward to a really fun morning.
In previous years, I don't know if you know, Dag runs the Rabbi Mansour Kids Minyan. So he for like little child labor, he gets the kids, and in the past we've recorded Mazza Bowls on iPads.
Phones. Phones with Duke's 46 batteries.
You hodgepodge it together and you got the job done. But there's a little bit of a difference when you have, cameramen all over the place, quality, not professionally edited and done, and especially having a play-by-play announcer done, in a only way I could do. And listen, I was honored to be receiving the call from you guys, and at the same time, I feel like you should be honored as well to have me do this as well. I think it's a two-way street over here.
Same, I'm very excited about this. I watch all your highlights. I was in your M&S League in the summer. You have great production, and you're always improving. You can see the vast improvements you've made from when you started to where you are now, and it's. And
Stan, let's not forget, when you're in M&S, you won the World Series. You're a one and done. You're like you went to Kentucky.
I went out on top.
Yeah,
all the way on top.
You're like better than Seinfeld. That's what you did.
Yeah.
Do I listen? I know you would have learned it otherwise. But do I get a little tiny bit of credit for?
Yes. Wait. Let me pause you right here. Everyone knows Yossi's passive-aggressive way of loving people, and it's always more aggressive and less passive. So whenever I do anything, put out a production, you'll have Yossi's criticism, but it's constructive criticism, but it comes from a good place. And over the years, as I put I started doing this 5-6 years ago for my league, and from like what Stan said previously, from where I was then to where I am today, I only got there because I was told what's good, what's not good, and I figured out the rest on my own.
I like it, and we are so excited to have you. We're so excited to have the film. Now let me give you a quick. Let me get your quick take. The Hormone Monsters, Nemo quarterback, Sharari, Dagmi, Yossi, Ezra Shrem, and Alsav versus the Shame Wizards, quarterback Stanley Cohen, Mokas, Moshal, Duke, Charles, and Sam Beta.
So, listen, I don't have a scouting report on any player here, but it always comes down to the quarterbacks in these types of games. So can Nemo will his team? I'm not sure of his arm strength. I'm not sure of his pocket awareness.
You'll find out. You'll find out.
Put it this way: his arm strength cannot throw a ball 5 yards. It only goes.
He's Josh Allen.
He threw a cannon in the Israeli army, but can he mimic that and do that here as well? I feel like Nemo is like a Jake Cutler type of quarterback, and Stan's more of like a Chad Pennington type of quarterback.
I think that's perfect.
I was going to go with Nemo is more Josh Allen, and I'm more Nathan Peterman.
Okay, no, nobody wants to be Nathan Peterman. Please don't say that. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it, and again, I just want to give you guys a shout-out and props for doing your podcast, and I hope everybody in the league appreciates what you do because you're taking time out of your own schedule just for their benefit and their entertainment, and even if they say and they give you comments, they should actually have a little more of an appreciation for what you guys do. So again, shout-out to you, and hat tip as well.
They do. Thanks, Sam. And mind you guys, Sam is an actual avid listener of the podcast as of this season.
Yes, I've not missed an episode.
Thanks, man. We'll see you later. Have a good night.
See you. You guys. Bye-bye.
All right. There you go. We have Sam. He's going to be recording the Mazza Bowl 4.
You're recording, announcing, highlights, play-by-play,
and he's going to edit.
Interviews.
Edit.
In-game interviews, I'm sure. Everything that we were always doing on the sidelines ourselves. Now we can just focus on the game, focus on having fun, winning, and whatever, and not having to do all the extracurricular stuff that we were trying to do. Duke, still charge your batteries. I still want your own personal videos.
Yeah,
those are good. Snapchat last year was rolling.
Mazza is going to be fun, and you guys can bet your ass that at halftime,
It's gonna be a blast.
we're not going to be listening to who's the halftime show this year?
Is it Maroon 5?
No,
It's Maroon
I mean it's the guy from The Voice, Adam Levine. So it's Maroon 5.
Yeah.
So Maroon 5, we're not going to be listening to Maroon 5 because we're going to be watching Mazza Bowl 4 highlights.
Is it
So
4? 3?
4.
4?
This is
halftime
4.
this year.
Halftime this year.
In the Mazza Bowl and Super Bowl.
Huh?
Got it. I'm thinking Mazza Bowl. I'm thinking Mazza Bowl halftime. You have a performer lined up. Talking about Super Bowl.
No,
Got it.
Super Bowl.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Okay, fine. Okay. So, we're going to jump right in. I don't remember what the drop was for the start of the week.
It could be anything.
I'm going to make it...
This is probably the lock of the week for next week.
Okay. Anyways, the start of the week. My start of the week, I think I'm going to go with Trey Burton.
Baby.
My man. Oh, man. You got to say, you had a lot of good starts and then a lot of really shitty guys. Like, there was no middle ground with you. It was either 2 points or 25 points with your team. I love Trey Burton. You had another tight end. You had O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard's been a really solid tight end. So there was no reason to think that I shouldn't put O.J. Howard in my lineup over Trey Burton. But Dag's like, you know what? Fuck that noise. I already got fucked over by $1. I'm not making it 2. Puts in Trey Burton. Trey Burton has the biggest game of his career with 126 yards and a touchdown. Magic Mitch Trubisky gets it done again. Finds Trey Burton. Trey Burton is a staple in Dag's lineup going forward. Him and Mr. Michael Thomas are the only 2 locks that I see in Dag's lineup going forward.
Maybe Sonny Michel when he's healthy. That's it.
Well, Sonny Michel's not going to be healthy for a while.
Ooh, okay. My start of the week. I'm going to say my guy, and then I'm going to have yours sing a little bit. Kerryon Johnson.
Carry on my wayward son!
Yes, Kerryon Johnson. 24.9 points for Nemo, who's all of a sudden flush with running backs who can do shit. So, Nemo, great start. Look, Kerryon looks like he's the guy now, and that's good news, except for the vulture touchdowns from Blunt, but who cares? All the work's going to Kerryon. That's a great start. And Moshal, you also mentioned Trubisky. I'm going to mention Eli, 20 points. Moshal started 2 quarterbacks again. Moshal won again. Moshal is now 3-1 when he starts 2 quarterbacks, as opposed to 0-3 without 2 quarterbacks. Moshal, you're playing me this week. Please only start 1 quarterback so I can beat you. Thank you very much.
Why he started? Oh, so his only win when not starting 2 quarterbacks was against me. Noted.
Well, he couldn't start. Well, he couldn't start Carr because Carr's a pussy and he was on bye this week anyways. So whatever.
I hear that. Now, this episode is not a shitting on Mocast episode, so we won't play Mocast's version of Hello Goodbye. My waiver wire is not going to be a waiver wire win. It's going to be a waving goodbye to the $39 that Dag spent on Peyton Barber. I get it. He's a starting quarterback on the number 1 offense in the NFL, which I just learned today. They averaged
That's weird, man.
the most yards per game.
Why? How? What?
I think a lot of it has to do with Fitzmagic just launching 500 yards in the first 3 games. But Jameis Winston is a borderline, I think, a very high upside QB1.
You know what I'm thinking?
What?
Maybe it's because the defense is so bad that all their drives start at like a touchback. Whereas the Rams force punts to start like a 50-yard line every time and they score touchdowns.
Right.
So every drive, they get more yards when they score, at least. But how can it be? It doesn't make sense to me. The Chiefs?
But it's all
600 yards every game, the Chiefs.
But it's all in the air because the Bucks have one of the worst run games in the league. Anyway, so Dag spent $39 on Peyton Barber. I get it. Starting running back for a high-octane offense type of team that's always going to be, I guess, playing from behind because their defense sucks ass. But I don't know. Way too much on me. Now Peyton Barber's injured. I am hoping that Ronald Jones, not for fantasy purposes, because I honestly, I don't think this is my season anyway. more for as a Bucks fan standpoint. There's 8 more games left of the season. 9 more games. There's more than that, right? 10 more games. 9 more games.
Those are 2 and 5, so 9 more games.
9 more games left of the season. I would like to see Ronald Jones take over the job, see what we have. I think 9 games is a good sample to see how good he is. So I want to see how good Ronald Jones can be. That's me personally as a Bucks fan to see maybe we can sign Le'Veon Bell next year. Boom, boom, boom.
Wow. That's a bold.
Sorry to hear, Dag. You will not be getting your $39 back. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Got it. Mine. So on my team this week, I was forced to only start one quarterback because Russell Wilson was on bye. After scouring the waiver wire, I saw there were no quarterbacks worth buying. But Charles didn't think so. Charles thought that it was wise to spend $8 on Derek Anderson. Now, let me tell you, when the Bills fan doesn't put money on the Bills quarterback when he needs a quarterback, that is a very bad sign. Derek Anderson threw up all over himself. 75 yards. 4 turnovers, -2 points. That is not great.
Yeah.
So now I want to offer, in the vein of Wendell Smallwood, Derek Anderson over under. Total points for the year or dollars spent. What will be higher?
What was the dollar spent?
$8.
$8. And Derek Anderson's already in the minus.
He's in the -2. He's starting at least 1 more week, possibly 2. New England and Chicago. That's tough, man.
Tough times.
It's tough.
You know what? It's a good thing you guys, as the Cohen family, you got your game in early.
Thank God. We always plan early. Always early.
For weather.
For weather and for relevance. We don't want to go when they're 3-12. You know, we want to go when there's still a chance at something.
Yeah, I got the shit end of it last year because you guys had a chance of going to either the Bucks game in week 3 or Jets game opening week. I think
Bucks were like week 5, week 6.
No, it was shit. All right, my.
And you came over.
Yeah, and I came over to watch the game. It was not that late in the season.
It was like week 5.
Week 5.
Yeah.
And the reason that was given to me by Mr. Jack Cohen was we want to go to a game where the Bills actually have a chance of winning, and the Bills beat the Bucks anyway that week. And the last minute play,
it was a crazy play. They
was a wild play.
Forced a fumble and they scored and whatever.
Well, mother effer.
But honorable mentions to Moshe Allen, Nick Chubb, $13 a couple of weeks ago in advance, and now he has a starting running back. Honorable mention to me for Jalen Richard, $3 last week before the Lynch news came out. Hopefully, those can become at least a guy for me, not for him.
Okay, we're gonna go quickly into next week. We're gonna do Will Mulcass cover.
Actually, who's Mulcass playing this week? You?
Mulcass is playing me.
Alright, so you can set the spread for this.
Will Mulcass cover? I put the spread as 25.
Covers. Boom.
Covers. I hope he doesn't cover.
Get your bets live.
I'm biased.
Vegas.
I'm biased, but I hope he doesn't cover. We're gonna do my lock of the week. My lock of the week was, and just to point out, I'm 4-0 in my locks of the week.
I'm 0-4.
So
you know what's coming.
My lock of the week is, and when I'm putting my lock of the week, I try not to put my lock of the week as Mulcass going forward. That's what we're trying to do because Mulcass is going 13-0. That's all known already. My lock of the week is Sherraro. Sherraro continues his surge towards first place, and he will end Dag. And I don't see Dag coming back from this one. He had a shitty week last week. I think that continues. He has a shitty week next week. Right now, projections have Sherrari winning by around 15. I think that's going to be closer to about 40. I think I have Sherrari winning about 155, and Dag hovers around 110 to 120.
My lock of the week.
Time out. We are not allowed. Okay, this is an executive decision by me, co-host of the Mazza podcast, and I gladly represent the rest of the league when I say that your lock of the weeks are bullshit. Okay?
No,
No,
not
don't,
bullshit.
do not talk.
They're not bullshit.
Do not talk. Executive decision. You are no longer allowed to include your team in the lock of the week
This is bullshit.
or the bust of the week, because I know you're trying to find it. You'll try to find a way to sneak your team in there. Every time you picked against yourself in the lock of the week, you won.
It's
You
working.
are officially banned on grounds of. So now, I know you have your notes already written. You have to pick a new lock of the week that does not include your team. Because you cannot pick your team as a lock of the week.
I got it. Okay, just for the record, you can look at my notes this week. I am not the lock of the week. Beta over LSAT is lock of the week. And I heard your complaints, and I understand where you're coming from, but the shit works, guys. And now I have to punish Beta by picking him as lock of the week. Beta, you're the lock of the week over Alsav. And you're going to lose because I said so. I'm sorry. This is Yoss's fault. So don't blame me when you go down. Yoss prevented you from picking Moshal. So take that.
I feel bad. Alsaf's projected for under 100 points this week. My upset of the week. So far, my upset of the week has been picking against Mocas every week, hoping that somebody finally beats him. And that continues this week.
Yeah.
As my upset of the week is Yossi defeats Mocas in heavy wishful thinking.
All right, and my upset of the week, can I pick myself now here?
Yeah.
Moshal over Stan, upset of the week? That's calling me the
No,
favorite.
I said you can't pick
That's
yourself.
calling myself the favorite. Can I do that?
I said
If I can't do that,
you can't do that.
I'm going to add an addendum. If Moshal starts 2 quarterbacks, that's my pick. If he starts 1 quarterback,
Addendum.
I can't do it.
Addendum.
And I'll pick Charles over Nemo. Charles trying to get back on track. Nemo's due for a loss. And that'll be my upset of the week. There were no kickered segments this week. Sorry, Shrari. And I think that's the first half of the podcast.
Whoa! What? What's going on? What is this segment? You can't just drop segments on us like that. Oh, yes, we can. Welcome to the mid-season report. Is Rosie home, by the way? Am I yelling?
No. See, Jack's leaving.
Jack already has. He has his noise machine there.
Yeah,
all right,
Rosie's
my
out.
battery died, so scoot your computer
Come
over.
over here.
All right, we got.
Just so you know, guys, we're at the 38-minute mark. If you want to break it up into 2 podcasts, after the 38th minute, you can just stop and start again.
Yeah,
the
you
mid-season
can
report.
stop right now.
If you want, we're not going to split it up ourselves, so you guys can have a small break here, halftime with Maroon 5.
Halftime show. We'll have Maroon 5.
Okay, here we go. Mid-season report. What we're going to do here is we're going to go team by team.
1 second.
Yep, sorry.
1 second.
Halftime show? No.
Halftime show.
What do you have this?
I don't. I just typed in Maroon 5. Okay.
Animals. Okay, what we're going to do
All right.
here is we're going to go team by team. We're going to go in the current standings order.
And
Pick out
I'm going to review the Shame Wizards, and Stan is going to review the Hormone Monsters, but we're going to go in order of standings. Hormone Monsters, you should be ashamed of yourselves. We are on the bottom of the
Yes,
stand.
I have the final half of this.
Oh, man.
But we're going to go in order. We're going to do the best pick of the draft. It could be best pick or best value, anything we wanted. Bust pick, which would be the worst pick or worst value. And the best overall transaction. We'll pick 1 or 2 for each team. And then we'll have player predictions at the end. Right?
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
All right, let's
we'll
go.
kick it off. Obviously, number 1 in the rankings right now is Mocas. Now, I know we always say how good Mocas's team is, but let me just tell you guys right now. I'm going to read you the first 9 rounds of Mocas's draft. Now, usually a bust pick it's hard to say that a bust pick will be in the bottom half of the draft because that's when people start taking chances.
Yep.
I'm going to throw shit in the fan and see what sticks. This is Mocas's first 9 rounds to where his bust pick was his 10th rounder, his 110th overall pick. Le'Veon Bell, Julio Jones, Adam Thielen, Alex Collins, Carson Wentz, Pat Mahomes, Jared Goff, James Conner, Evan Ingram, and his 10th round pick, which is his bust pick, is Keelan Cole. When you really an impeccable, immaculate first 9 rounds, and honestly, you couldn't have asked for a better draft.
And
that is honestly, that's the. There's nothing you could say about that. It was perfect.
I could even say his best pick is the 11th round. James White is an RB1, and that's probably his best value pick.
Best value pick.
You can't stop his team.
Thank you, Rosie. So, in addition to that, Mocas's best transaction this season so far was spending $20 after week 1 on Lindsey. Now $20 was a lot of money, given that Royce Freeman was there. But it turns out that it worked out really well for him. And $20, I think, is a good starting RB2, RB5 on Mocas's team. But it was a great value, and it's not like right now where if a running back goes for $39 in the waivers, you have him for 6-7 weeks. Mocas will have Lindsey for the whole season from week 2 and on. Honorable mention to a $0 grab for Austin Hooper. So that's that. Take it away, Nemo. Nemo is the second guy.
Number 2 seed. His best pick, I went with value here. His best value picks, I thought, were Alshon Jeffrey in the 8th round, Julian Edelman in the 9th round. Before that, Nemo already had Hopkins, Hilton, and Demaryius Thomas. So adding those 2 guys, which are regular wide receiver 2s on any team, as depth and bench until they come back from suspension or injury, was a great move by Nemo. He can parlay them into any sort of trade he wants. He already traded one for Crowell, which didn't work out for him yet, but it could still work out for him. And I thought it was a good strategy by Nemo. His bust picks were Greg Olsen in the 6th round, already dropped, injured in week 1, dropped, and now is on Charles' team. And Dez in the 13th round, which he's not in football. I don't know why he was even drafted. He's not on a team, probably will not be on a team. And his best transaction was getting LeBron James off of waivers for $0 to replace Olsen, and LeBron James has been balling out. The only question I have about Nemo Steve now is he too invested in the Colts offense? He has Marlon Mack, T.Y. Hilton, Eric LeBron James. It's a lot of Colts for one team. He's 5-2, but will it last? Time will tell. Take it away. Number 3.
Number three we have in the standings is Stan. Now, Stan's team, Captain Stan, captain of the Shame Wizards. You can't not put his best pick of the draft as the most obvious pick of the draft, which was Todd Gurley II. Where I sent. Hold on one second. I gotta read you guys this stat.
I could even
for
argue
Todd Gurley
that even though he was number 1 overall, he was really the 4th pick because I got him with the 4th draft night slot.
Yes.
So
True.
really, I got him at 4.
Duke,
kind of.
We all know Duke effed up on that one. David Johnson, Saquon Barkley, and Zeke are all top 15 in red zone rushing attempts this year and have combined for 45 carries, 104 yards, and 11 touchdowns inside the 20. Gurley, by himself, has 43 carries, 124 yards, and 11 touchdowns in the red zone. This guy is an absolute animal. All right? And Stan took him in the first overall pick, which was obvious. Now, if you want to say, give me a better pick. Give me something that's not more obvious. I'll give you Stan's 8th round pick, the 96th overall pick of the draft, was Robert Woods. Stan picked up Robert Woods, and Robert Woods is arguably the number 1 to 1A receiver on that team and has one of the highest octane offenses in the league, ranked second after Tampa Bay.
Woods, baby.
Stan's top 2 picks were Rams, and he fell into that offense, and it's paying off.
For some reason, by the way, whenever Robert Woods was on the Bills, I was a big fan of Woods when he was on the Bills. I loved him coming out of college, but like, whenever I would watch him on TV and he'd make a catch, I would just sing blurred lines to myself. I don't know why it came up like that. They make a catch, and I'm like, blurred lines. My dad's like, what the hell are you singing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how it connected, but now Robert Woods is blurred lines to me.
But with every not every team is a perfect team like Mocas's team. Stan does have some bust picks. As of week 7, halfway through the fantasy regular season, his second round pick, Gronkowski, has to be a bust. Gronk has not surpassed 12 points in any game but one. He's only had one game where he surpassed 12 points this season, and as we saw last week, he's already showing signs of injury. It's not something you want to see. Another bust pick that Stan had was Fitzgerald, who was already dropped.
No, I have him still.
You have him still?
Yeah.
Okay, who should be dropped.
Look at my bench.
And that's not, it's not a guy you wanted. Not production you wanted from a guy that has had great numbers his entire career, especially at home in the 4th round. That's not what you wanted to see.
Guys, Fitz is on the block. They had new offensive coordinator now. Things are looking up. Touchdown last week. Fitz on the block.
Stan's best transaction so far. He gave away.
Sorry.
He gave away Crowell after a beast week. He gave away Crowell and acquired from Nemo Alshon Jeffrey. I don't know if Nemo regrets that trade. He probably does if I were him.
So far, I can tell you he does. I get texts almost daily from Nemo. But I think there's time still.
That was his best transaction, and that's that for Stan's team. Stan, take it away for number 4.
Number 4 is Yoss. Yoss, my little guy here, podcast partner.
I'm getting a hug from Stan. That was awesome.
Pick. First, I want to say Alvin Kamara, 1st round, 5th pick. I can argue that he should have been the number 2 overall pick, and getting him at 5 was a steal. At least for the first few weeks. Now Ingram's back, who knows, but Kamara has been just carrying Yoss's team so far. Then I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks in the 5th round. Any piece of that Rams offense is big. I mean, you have that offense, they're going to score points. They spread it around. There's no wide receiver 1. There's two of them. Even 3. Cup can even be 1. He scores a lot of points when he's in the game. They all score a lot of points, and Cooks is a big part of that. And my last one for best pick was Fitzpatrick. Dino Balls himself.
Oh, man.
In the 14th round, Yossi took Fitzpatrick as your 3rd quarterback or as your 4th quarterback?
As my 3rd.
3rd quarterback. With Fitzpatrick in the lineup, Yoss went 3-0. Without him, he's 1-3. But I'm going to say that those 3 wins from a Fitzpatrick-led team is worth a best pick mention in the 14th round. And I know you probably wish he was still starting for the Bucs. Yeah. Is that probably true? All right.
So no, I think Jameis is
famous Jameis.
Yeah, you'll see in the next.
Graham by pussy.
Graham. No, that's Trump.
Jameis. No, it's both.
Both.
That's even weirder. Trump and Jameis are together like that.
Jameis for sure voted for Trump.
100%.
100%. All right.
Bust pick for yours. Derrick Henry, 4th round. I think the guy just sucks. Basically, they invested in Dion Lewis in the offseason and paid him a lot of money to be the running back. So, in my mind, Lewis was the better pick because they invested in him, so they're going to use him. And even this week's past game, Derrick Henry is known for a few things. One of them being he's a big, physical runner, a short yardage back. And with the game on the line, from the 1 yard line, they chose not to give him the ball and instead throw some weird pass play. That tells me all I need to know about how they feel about Derrick Henry. That tells me everything. They don't trust him to get 1 yard. That's his job. 1 yard. They couldn't get it. Second one, Marquise, great win. As Yoss calls him. He's just a good win so far.
Right now he's just
not
good.
even a good win. He's nothing. There's nothing win.
Right now he's an okay win.
Okay win. More bust than boom. He has 1 big week on Yoss's bench and a bunch of weeks under 30 yards. So in the 7th round, whatever. Not a great pick. Yoss still has AJ Green there and Cooks. He's fine at receiver. Best transaction.
One second. I just want to highlight something me and Alsa have noticed a few weeks ago. I want you guys to listen to what the 4th round of our draft looks like and how many busts there are in the 4th round, as you'll probably hear later going through the podcast. It started with Kenyon Drake, Alex Collins, Amari Cooper, Lamar Miller, Travis Kelce, who's a beast, T.Y. Hilton, who's played like 2 games so far, Royce Freeman, who was just bought for $2 fab, Derrick Henry, who's on the waiver wire, Chris Hogan, who I think was just picked up again, but was on the waiver wire, Jay Ajayi, IR, Juju Smith-Schuster, who's a beast, and then there's Larry Fitzgerald. That's how bad the 4th round was for our draft this year.
It's disgusting. Okay. Best transaction for Yoss. The acquisition of Kiki Cutie and subsequent trade sell-off for $18. Bought him for $11, sold him for $18. Yoss is a businessman since what? Since how long for your businessman? This is one of your best deals you ever made, probably.
Yeah.
$7 profit after 1 day.
After one.
Easy.
Yeah. It was an obvious one. It could have been.
Hamyan?
It could have been 20.
Could have been 20.
Could have been 20 if I
mentioned after that he would have paid 20. But that's a
damn it
for a guy that's not awesome and whatever. To get $18 for him, that's a shrewd move by you.
Number 5 in the standings will be Butterfinger Duke. Duke's best pick of the draft. I'm looking at my draft boards right now. I have Duke taking. I have it written down. Yeah, okay. So my best pick of the draft for Duke is in the 10th round. He selected his 3rd quarterback. After Cam Newton and Marcus Mariota, he selected Jameis Winston, who was going to be out for 3 games due to groping a woman Uber driver.
Was it 3 or 4? I think he didn't play for the first 4 games because Fitz was hot.
But then he came in the 4th game.
Oh, right.
He came in the 4th game. So he was out for 3 games and then came in the 4th game. Jameis Winston has some serious quarterback 1 potential. And that's his upside. His upside is, I think he can be a number 3 or 4 quarterback rest of the way. And I love how Duke got that in the 10th round. Another honorable mention is Calvin Ridley. Anybody goes down in that offense, anybody, and Calvin Ridley gets a bump up. If Sanu, something happens to him, if something happens to Julio, I'd say if even something happens to one of the running backs, Ito Smith or Coleman, I think Ridley can see some serious targets, and we already saw what he could do in the red zone. He's gotten 6 touchdowns, I think, in 2 weeks span. So that's my 2 best picks for Duke's team. I'll give an honorable mention to the 4th round for Juju Smith-Schuster, who had a solid first 4 weeks of the season, and I think slowed down a little, but still a great 4th rounder for Duke. His bust picks at 1.02. Duke's bust pick is DJ. Now, you want... If DJ was taken a little later in the first round, 5 or 6th pick overall, you're kind of okay. You're not happy with the production, but you're okay with the production. But at the 2nd overall pick, after knowing that you could have had the number 1 overall pick, you're looking at DJ and saying, what the F? So you are not happy with David Johnson, and Duke's 2nd round pick is also a dishonorable mention for his bust pick. Freeman hits the IR. Did he hit the IR? He hit the IR. Freeman is on the IR, and Duke's not happy about that.
He's kind of happy, though, because at least he has Coleman. Imagine Freeman was still healthy, but not playing every week. You know, like a Dalvin Cook situation. Maybe he's going to play this week. He'll come in for 3 snaps. He'll play. And who's going to start? Coleman or Freeman? Coleman or Freeman? Now at least he has an answer. Coleman's starting the rest of the year. barring injury or trade.
Now, Duke's best
Silver
transaction.
lining.
Duke's best transaction of the season. Now, please, guys. I implore you guys to go look at all of Duke's transactions and try to tell me that this is not his best transaction. Dude, you're 4-3. Make some moves. Act like you want to be in the playoffs. $1 to re-get Greg Zerloin after dropping him early in the season. That was Duke's best transaction of the season. Hasn't done much since then, and that's what I'm going with.
It's a great move, though. I mean, Zerline, Rams. Okay, anyways. Shuari, Team 6, the Shark. Best pick. Second round pick. Kareem Hunt is on a rampage. The Kansas City offense is special, and any part of that offense is freaking fantasy gold, except for Watkins. Okay? Next one is Andy Dalton with the ninth round pick. He's back. Led the Bills to the playoffs last year, having a great year so far. Bengals are a good team, and that's a lot of it has to do with the offense. And speaking of the offense, we'll get to Tyler Boyd later. Bust pick, Chris Hogan, 4th round. I mean, we thought that at least with the first few weeks of the season, no Edelman, that Hogan would be a big factor. He wasn't a factor. Then they acquired Josh Gordon. Then Edelman came back. Gronk's still around. So there's really no room for Hogan anymore, which is a problem because Hogan's a good receiver, and they just don't have any targets for him. Philip Dorsett got targets over him. Cordell Patterson's involved. There's too many mouths to feed over there, and Hogan got left out. And the next bust pick, I'm going to go with Jacksonville's defense. Shuari took the first defense off the board, trying to inspire a defense run. It didn't work. And Jacksonville's defense is, I looked at the scoring for the whole year. They're maybe 24th in scoring on defense with 40 points on the season. That D has regressed bigly, and there are troubles in the locker room. They probably turn it around at some point because their defense is very talented, but that's, as of now, a bust pick. I mean, if your defense is a bust pick, you're doing something right, I think. Your best transaction, Tyler Boyd, $2. Also, led the Bills to playoffs last year. He's a stud, I think, at receiver. A great get for Shuari. Shuari starts every single week. And I think that's a great... I think I touched on it in the podcast weeks ago on the waiver section. He's a great addition to Shuari's team. And, yeah, that's it. The Bengals offense, that's Shuari's value right there. 9th round and a waiver addition for $2. Great job.
Is it safe to say that if the Bills just hang on to some of their guys, they'll be an awesome freaking team?
Nah. Because they had all those guys. They weren't an awesome freaking team.
Okay.
And
Fair enough.
We had Watkins, we had Woods, we had Goodwin, we had Hogan. That's our receivers. And Charles Clay and McCoy. And we couldn't score points. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to go on a run right now. I have the next 3 guys.
Go.
Team number 7 is Sam Beta, the rookie. Welcome to the league, and welcome to your first midseason report. Your best pick is Saquon Barkley and Danny Amendola in the 13th round. In the last 2 weeks since Osweiler took over, Amendola saw 11 and 7 targets, making it 18 total targets in 2 weeks. Osweiler is going to be the quarterback next week. We don't know what's going on with Tannehill. He's probably not going to be playing again. The Dolphins actually look decent with Osweiler. Amendola could be a nice secret weapon for Sam going forward. Saquon Barkley, I think that's an obvious one. You got him later in the first round. I think at number 6, was it?
6,
yeah. And it's fun to see a Cowboy fan rooting very, very heavily for a Giant. Go Saquon Barkley, being the best pick. The bust picks for Sam Beta are Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy Gorgeous, and Robbie Anderson. Now, Jimmy Gorgeous isn't Sam's fault. Went on the tore an ACL, was it?
I think so.
And went on the IR after barely even playing on this young season and having all that hype behind him. Now, Robbie Anderson, after having a great year last year, seems like he's not Darnold's guy this year, and he's a bust pick in the 7th round, whereas it looked like Robbie Anderson could have been a steal of the draft in the 7th round. But also to have Sam have his first bust in the 6th round, I think that's a good thing. I'm not really disappointed with his draft. His first 6 rounds went Saquon Barkley, Devontae Adams, Drew Brees, Kelsey, Tate, Garoppolo, and that's to have your first bust in the 6th round. I think you take it any day of the week. So congratulations, you had a good outcome over there. Team 8, Moshal. Moshal's best pick of the draft, I think, was in the 11th round. Took Mitch Trubisky, who over the last few weeks has been showing how much of a type of QB1 maybe he can be. I don't see him being a QB1 type going forward for the rest of the season, but he definitely is in the QB1 towards QB2 conversation. Let's say for Moshal's sake, let's keep him in the QB1 so Moshal can actually start him, because once we start putting him in the QB2 conversation, that's when Moshal tries to think, maybe I'll put him on my bench for D.D. Westbrook. Another honorable mention was in the 3rd round. Stan dubbed him as Tyreek. No, Tyreek. Tyreek Hill, I'm sorry, not Tyreek Anderson. Tyreek Hill in the 3rd round has been paying off for Moshal wonderfully, as KC is doing beautiful things with the ball. And, I'm sorry, I had to go back to Sam for a second. I forgot to mention his best transaction. His best transaction is fabbing for Rosenmania!
Yeah!
Just kidding. Sam, you made some stupid transaction, adding Rosen, dropping Chubb, adding Foles this past week, adding Dez. I don't know what the hell you're doing. I guess it's a good thing that I skipped your best transactions. But anyways, let's go back to Moshal's best bust pick was in the 4th round. As we mentioned before, Jay Ajayi, who's now in the IR. Even before he was on the IR, he kind of sucked. And in the 7th round, he took his first quarterback off the board in the 7th round, Derek Cry. Derek Cry in the 7th round. And I think you got to start.
We need a pussy drop.
So that's Moshal's team. His best transaction so far, the one I liked the most personally, was $1 for Ito Smith. Could be a very key player for Moshal down the stretch. I think Coleman now has a few games to actually prove what he's worth. If not, I think the Atlanta Falcons go towards Ito, because Coleman is a free agent at the end of this year, and if Atlanta wants to see what they have in Ito, they're probably going to put him as the starter towards the end of the year if Coleman continues sucking. Coleman's playing for his job, so he's got to actually pick up his shit. So if he wants a starting job on any other NFL team next year, Coleman should be doing good, but I like Ito Smith for $1. Could be a key guy for his team.
I want to just point out 2 late picks by Moshal that were pretty good. John Brown, 12th round. Kenny Galladay, 13th round. Those are wide receiver 1s, according to Moshal only. But they're starters on his team, and he did a good job identifying talent that he wanted. Got them. They're starting from every week pretty much, except this week, because he benched John Brown at 25 points against the Saints. I don't know why I did that.
So
Moshal, you're a schmuck. Anyways.
So Moshal's a good late round drafter and a shitty early round drafter.
Sure, we can say that.
I'm going to go with the 9th. Number 9 in the draft is Charles. Now, Charles's best pick came in the 9th round when he selected Tariq Cohen. And over the last few weeks, Tariq Cohen has been showing that he is capable of taking over with this running job. Even if not, he's getting receptions from Trubisky as a wide receiver 1. He's getting 7 to 10 receptions. That's Kamara territory in terms of that's Kamara and McCaffrey territory. I think you take that all day long if you're Charles Zami. Tariq Cohen in the 9th round, that was Charles's best pick. Another honorable mention, I would say, is Nick Chubb in the 12th round, but obviously I don't know if you would say that was the best pick because it's week 7 and Nick Chubb is starting to become a guy in week 7.
On Moshal's team.
On Moshal's team. Charles's best transaction, he's had... Oh, I'm sorry, Charles's bust pick. Charles's bust pick in the 3rd round, it's Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has like 15 targets a week, but only manages 40 yards out of them. 0 touchdowns in his last 5 weeks. That's because all the touchdowns on that team are going to... Who else but Mocas's team? Adam Thielen has all the touchdowns on that team. Adam Thielen looks like he is the wide receiver 1 there. Diggs has taken a back seat. That's a bust pick. That's not. You don't want those kind of numbers from your wide receiver 3. I was contemplating putting Mike Evans as a bust, but hasn't been a bust so far. Has been looking decent, but with the growing and maturing of all the weapons on that offense, I think Mike Evans takes a little bit of a step back and doesn't get all the targets he needs to become that wide receiver 1 that Charles drafted him to be. Needless to say, Charles is not struggling at all in wide receiver, so no worries there. Charles's best transaction, I think, was fabbing for Njoku. Njoku, in a really rough tight end waiver wire, because everybody's already got their tight ends and even backup tight ends on their team. Njoku looks like he could be a top 12 tight end going forward. Charles had a few weeks of struggling to find the tight end where he picked up and rostered Dave Towell style 3 tight ends in one shot. He hopefully found his tight end going forward in Njoku. But then Charles dropped him.
I have him now.
And one man's trash is Stan's treasure.
I think Charles actually has Olsen now as his tight end. So as long as he stays healthy, that could be a good pickup.
Yeah.
But who knows how long that'll be.
And now for the last 3, the bottom 3 is Team Homo Monsters. Guys, you got to pick up your shit. What the hell's going on?
Let's start with Team 10. Alsav, best pick. I mean, I looked at Alsav's draft, and I really couldn't find a best pick because his team is weird. But I put his best pick as Mohamed Sanu in the 15th round. He's a weekly starter for Alsav, putting up like 15 points a week, almost every week. This week he didn't do much, but he's been putting up numbers. Alsav went heavy wide receiver towards the back end of the draft. Aguilar, Cobb, Fuller, Benjamin, Parker, Pryor, Ginn, Sanu. That's like 8 in a row. Sanu's the one that panned out the most, and I think that's his best pick. Honorable mention to Smelvinville, Melvin Gordon. Alsav traded back in the draft from 6 to 8, knowing he'll get Melvin there, and got him. I think it's a very shrewd move by Alsav. However, with that wraparound pick in the second round that he acquired, he took Dalvin Cook, and that's his bust of the year because he hasn't really played yet. And the one game he played, he had like 4 points, and Alsav started him and beat me somehow. Son of a bitch. And his second bust, Royce Freeman in the 4th round. So he took 3 running backs in the first 4 picks, Melvin, Cook, and Freeman. 2 of them really did not pan out, not the way you want to start. The best transaction he made was obviously the shark bite heard around the world. Sharari getting sharked by Alsav. D-Jax with Devontae Parker. D-Jax is something. Devontae Parker is a literal 0 so far on the waiver wire, I'm pretty sure. Good job, I guess, sharking that up and getting D-Jax, who you really needed. Next team, Kamish, Champ, Dag. His best pick, the 10th round, Sony Michel. Dag dubbed him a league winner during the draft, and he really could be if he was on somebody's team that could actually win the thing. But Dag is 1-6. His team is probably shot, but Michel, great foresight, looks like a great pick. Bust picks, obviously, Leonard Fournette, 1st round. Doug Baldwin, 3rd round. 2 guys that are literally not putting up any points. Baldwin seems to be getting healthier, so that can change over the course of the year. But Fournette, who knows what his situation is. Yeldon's playing out of his mind. They just acquired Carlos Hyde. That means they're probably worried about Fournette a little more than they should be, and who knows when he's going to come back. But Dag's team is hurting for missing 2 of his top 3 picks over the first 7 weeks of the season, and he's 1-6 because of it. Best transaction, I put CJ Beathard, a $15 fab buy. Dag needed a quarterback. Oh, no, he didn't. He picked him up for insurance as a 3rd quarterback, but then traded Alex Smith to Ez, and then Beathard became a regular starter for him. Beathard putting up 15 points a week for him, which is exactly what you can ask for from CJ Beathard.
And since
now
the writing,
traded him for Dak Prescott. So there you go. Now it's on the fly. Trading for Dak Prescott. A little bit of an upgrade. And he has Amari Cooper there. The connection is happening. All right. And the last team, Team Ez, got his first win this week, the Beast Cock. His best pick, by far in the round 16. TJ Yeldon, I cannot believe what a fucking pick this was.
I don't know. I don't
believe it.
I don't know why you were so surprised at the pick.
I laughed so hard
Why?
in the draft.
Why?
Because TJ Yeldon was garbage last year. That's why. I figured for sure the other running back, Corey Graham, was going to take his job. At least the number 2 job. Yeldon was bad last year. But what a pick, Ez. That is what I'm talking about, Ez. That is a pick. All right? I laughed at the draft. Ez is laughing at me now. Good stuff, Ez. Bust pick. Ez in rounds 2 through 5 picked Keenan Allen, LaShawn McCoy, Amari Cooper, and Allen Robinson. All of them are busts. Not that it's his fault. It's just shitty luck that all 4 guys did not really pan out. And his best transaction was trading for Alex Smith.
That was a fraudulent slip right there.
Yeah. Ez only drafted 1 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. He had no second quarterback. He was starting a mishmash of players at his quarterback flex. He traded for Alex Smith as a reliable, quote-unquote, second quarterback. And that's going to help him. I mean, instead of starting random guys at flex, he has a real quarterback who already had his bye week. So he's going to go for both his quarterbacks already had their bye weeks. They're going to be starters throughout the whole year, barring injury. So that's my best transaction for Ez, and that wraps up our mid-season recap. Usually I would do this in an article, but Yoss decided we want to do it in a podcast. I'm very happy we did that because writing an article is very tedious, very hard. Podcast, we split the work. It's nice and easy. We talk to you guys, and
it was good. Now, one last thing before we go. Look out for, towards the end of this week and into next week is Media Week for Mazza Bull. Look out for that. Look out for all the fun stuff that we got planned for you guys.
And you want to run through predictions?
For playoffs?
Predictions?
Sans Mocas?
Yeah, I have you as number 1 seed because Mocas won already. Consolation bracket, you're number 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll take it.
So you're winning the league. Congratulations.
I have Sherrari as the number 1 seed.
Wait.
Sans Mocas, obviously.
Mocas.
I have Sherrari. I have Ez actually in last place.
Oh, me too.
That was a shocker.
I mean, I have Alsav, Dag, and Ez not really moving from 10, 11, 12. Maybe they'll mix it up within each other. But I think those are the 3 least talented teams as of right now.
As of right now. The way it's looking right now.
I mean, that's standing say that, but I mean, like, going forward still. I mean,
and I got to say, it's also props to you for actually having to go through the transactions for Alsav. He made the most trades of the season so far.
It was a lot of fun. I love going through the transactions. It's really fun to see what guys did and what guys paid. Give me your top 6 for playoffs, including Mocas. Go right now.
Top 6, I got Mocas number 1. I got Mocas, Sherrari, me, you, Nemo, and I think I had Sam Beta sneaking in as well.
All right, so I had Mocas 1, Yossi 2, Nemo 3, Sherrari 4, Stan 5, Sam 6. Duke on the outside looking in. Even though I always say Duke finds a way, this time might not find a way. Diarrhea Johnson and Sam Beta's Rosenmania for the last spot. I think Sam takes it.
Dag actually told me last week that he thinks Sherrari will beat Mocas in the playoffs.
I love it.
So no matter where they face off, he will beat Sherrari. He will beat Mocas in the playoffs. Now, guys, we got fun Mazza Bowl stuff next week. Hopefully next week's podcast, me and Stan are going to go through each team, break it down, see who's able to win, see what's going to go on.
Whoa,
yeah.
Time out. I'm not going to be here next week. Time
out.
Oh,
he's going to be in Cancun.
Away. So, find another host. Maybe
Yes.
Dag can chime in. Oh, get somebody from my team.
Yeah.
Get Beta or something. I don't know. Beta wants to be on the podcast.
Maybe I get Beta. Maybe I'll get Mocas. Maybe I'll get Mocas.
I'm going to be away. And I just want to let you guys know that even though my mid-season report article is now finished, I'm still going to post all those, like, all-team records.
Yeah.
And,
fun stuff.
And GPA rankings based on Yahoo's calculations. We'll see what kind of luck was involved in scheduling and overall moves. I'm going to post what I have here. I'm going to post it on the website, on the fantasy message board, and maybe I'll post it in the chat also so you guys can see. I've been updating it every week. Yoss is playing me off. We'll see you guys. Yoss will see you guys next week. I'll see you at Mazza Bowl.
Enjoy Cancun, buddy.
Woo!
What a show we have for you guys today.
Extra long show, baby.
Ooh, what a show. We're gonna save